Okay, so what I have here are the makings for repairing a broken nail, which you can see here. Obviously I have lost a bit of length off of that, and I'm not ready to cut everything else down. So what I'm going to do is basically create my own extension for it using the Orly Nail Rescue kit, which comes with an acrylic powder and the brush-on glue, and it also comes with a little file, but I'm not going to use that one. I have two different files. One is a much coarser and one is a little bit finer. I have a paper tea bag and a pair of nail scissors. So what I'm going to do is start by cutting out a section of the tea bag that will fit, and I actually want it to cover my entire nail and be long enough to come out to cover where, as far as I want it to go. Once I have it trimmed out, I can actually trim it down a little bit farther. Alright, and I'm going to start forgot one other thing I need, and that's going to be a pair of tweezers. Okay, so I'm going to start by applying this is just ordinary nail glue. I'm going to apply it over my entire nail, and then I'm going to very carefully place the tea bag down as straight as I can and push down on the sides. Okay, so now that I have the tea bag placed down, I'm going to come back in with another layer of glue and really seal it down really well. And I'm also going to go ahead and take it out on the end. I want to wet all of that tea bag down, because when that glue dries, that's going to give it a little bit of shape and make it kind of firm. And I'm just holding down on the edge to make sure that I get a good seal while the glue dries. And just make sure that I have everything glued. Now I've got some excess around the edge of my cuticle here, but I'm not going to worry about that yet. I'm going to cut that off here in a little bit. Right now, I just want to focus on making sure that I've got a good, even, flat, no air bubbles. Oops, sorry. All the way around. It shouldn't take too long for that to dry. I'm going to give that about 2 minutes to dry, and then I will be back. Okay, I have given that time to dry, and you'll see I've got just a little bit of stiffness on the tea bag out here, but otherwise everything is good and sealed down. So now I'm going to come in with my scissors and very, very carefully trim around the edge. So what I want to do is actually switch over to a pair of nippers at this point. These are just cuticle nippers. Obviously don't use these on my cuticles, but they are very, very good for getting in and cutting small things that are right up against the surface or right up against the edge of my cuticle. So what I'm doing is just gradually working around and pulling the excess corners of that tea bag off. Okay. Now once I'm satisfied with that, now I want to actually start worrying about shaping the nail. So I'm got an almond shape going on the rest of my nails right now, and I actually do have you can kind of see where my nails naturally shape towards that because of how they were filed before I broke it. So what I'm going to do is actually follow that natural line, and with my scissors just kind of shape-ish to how I'm going to want my extension shaped. This is significantly harder to do on my non-dominant hand, but I mean, needs doing, right? So just very carefully shaping that down until I have something kind of pointed, and then I'll be able to file off the rest after we actually create the extension. Alright, so the nail repair powder works by basically you lay down the glue and then you dip into an acrylic powder, and it's just literally just a little acrylic powder in there, but it bonds to the glue. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to put another layer of the wet glue over my tea bag. Basically what I'm doing is, if it's just like if I was to add on a plastic extension for an acrylic, but since I don't have any tips and I don't want to work with gel, I'm just going to use the glue. And before that dries, I just dip into the powder. And tap off my excess. And now with a fan brush I can brush off the excess. And that's given me just a little bit more stability. And you can start to see where that's starting to take shape. Now, you'll see the end, the tip of it is still very, very soft. So, in order to combat that, what I'm going to do is actually build up now from the underside. Because the top is already smooth, I don't want to continue adding there. So, once I've got the excess brushed off of that, I'm going to apply the glue right up to the edge, to the free edge of where the break was. And get a good layer of glue up underneath there. And then again, dip in. Tap off the excess. I'm going to give that a couple of minutes to kind of harden up a little bit, and I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm back, and this has hardened up now. You can see that it is much stiffer than it was the first coat, or the top, just the top coat. But it's still a little bit soft for what I want, so I'm going to do another level, or another layer of it. If you're doing this at home, basically you just have to kind of test it for yourself. You may be able to do it with 2, or you may need 3. Last time I did this is actually my second repair on this nail. The last time I was able to do it with just 2, but this time it looks like I'm going to need 3. So again, coming in and I'm building off of the bottom, not the top. Running it right up against the free edge. And into the powder. And tapping off the excess. Doesn't take very long at all to set, really, but I'm going to give that a couple more minutes to cure, and I'll meet you back again. Okay, so I've waited out and let this set up a little bit, and as you can see, this is now nice and hard. This is pretty much the same as you would expect from any extension, really, as far as the strength of it. So now what I can start doing is shaping it. Normally I would never advocate the sawing motion, but since I'm not working on natural nail here, I can get away with it. Okay, so obviously I've got way more length than I need. Actually, this might be a really good time to just come in with some clippers. I don't want to go too far down, but I do want to save myself a little bit of sawing. So just kind of eyeballing. And now I can go back to the shaping that I was doing. Actually, that said, now okay, so now that's down to a little bit more manageable size, and I'm going to continue shaping the tip, and then I will meet you back to show you how to finish off the top. Okay, so I have now shaped the nail down to where it looks like it kind of matches the rest of my nails. And so now I'm going to buff the top of it and kind of thin it down a little bit so that it's not quite so thick. Again, still with my coarse nail file here, I'm just going to buff along the top. It's not really buffing, this actually is a bit of filing. Okay, so now I've got that sanded down. I want to make sure that I get along the cuticle line, being a little bit more gentle obviously because I've got cuticle there that I don't want to damage too bad. Okay, Still got some residue in there, but that'll come out when I wash my hands next. So next thing I want to do is then take my slightly less abrasive file this is a much finer grit, and I'm just smoothing it down. Okay. Now this is still a little bit rough, so I actually have an even finer grit buffing block. So I'm just going to take that and run that over the nail. Okay, and now that's actually almost polished to a sheen. So I'm going to go wash my hands and I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm back. I just washed my hands, and so now you can see that, well, I mean, on a bare nail you can still tell that that's definitely an extension. If I will show you actually here in a moment what it's going to look like once I paint my nails. It looks like I may need to do a little reshaping just because I'm kind of a perfectionist. But you almost can't tell that it's not natural nail there. So I'm going to paint my nails and then I will show you the result when I get back. And we are back. So I decided to spare you and more importantly spare myself the filming of the painting of my nails, but I have this is 3 coats of a gorgeous polish, and as you can see you really can't even tell that there's an extension underneath that. So that basically is about it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. But essentially, this is a quick way to to fix a broken nail. And the Orly kit, I want to say that probably cost me, I don't know, $7 or $8 at Sally's. And if I was to go into a shop, which, you know, at this point I can't because we're working on the evening hours at this point, so I would have to wait till tomorrow anyway, but this would probably cost me at least $5 to fix. Obviously with the Orly powder I've got enough for multiple fixes, not just doing the extensions, but breaking nails, you know, or fixing breaks or tears in the nail as well. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and thanks and much love. Y'all have a good day.